Sitting
That's
there.
a whole other patrol coming to the shifts. So what it would take to get there, so we were thinking of, because I mean, I don't want it to sound like.
I wasn't paying attention.
Knock on wood. Cause when I'm going down, I'm like, I thought it was, these are good. But you don't wanna be sad. So I'm always looking, like, everybody creates it, like jokingly, you're a homer for, like, I says, cause I believe you need a strong, you need a presence, safety first. And that's what we wanna do, so. You know, I know that, yeah. Like cameras, all that. I agree, like it may, there's a, I've heard it from many, when you see it, when you see an office, there's a reassurance. So. How are you, sir?
Fine, how are you?
Good. Yeah. Good. John let you know that they were, citing that individual?
He told me they were, but he told me he was gonna call me. He never called me back, so that's why I'm here.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
I just
they were citing the individual. I think the initial.
I got to get you information
Is,
to put on that.
One address that
flyer.
we had, and then I think you would got
We're just
another
trying to figure out
address from you.
since.
Well,
How you been, Mr. Denise?
yes, because that first address that he
Stuff on the
gave,
website, so they can
I
sell
actually
stuff.
went there with my
We're gonna
GPS.
probably have to do it.
Hey, Willie, what up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Okay.
So
And it doesn't
that's
even
probably
exist.
what we're gonna do. I'm gonna talk to
So,
the boss.
you know, to me, this guy was a con.
This numbers are meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, so they,
Final
the
one.
building put everything together with the citation, and I don't quote me, because I didn't get any confirmation from them on Friday.
To go watch something.
I don't know if he was served their site.
Well, the other address that I gave, because I gave him both the addresses. The other address is good, because I went there too.
Gotcha.
And that address is good because the vehicle that was in the
Yeah,
yard,
so I might
the same
just
vehicle
blow
that he
that
drove
off
and
and just
came
go
and picked up that money.
When he came and got it. Okay.
So that address is good.
Yeah,
That-
let me know.
I will.
The
They,
procedure,
they're
website, and all
ruling
that.
for,
Take us
like,
up
I
on
believe
for
he
us.
cited for not being
So
registered,
if we can get this thing
for
set
not
up this week,
pulling
like
it,
we did
Maybe
those
it's
flyers.
house number.
Right. So
I need that.
it's all.
Once they cite him though, isn't that a matter of public record where I can get a copy of it?
Yeah, you can get your copy of it. Yep,
Because-
because then there'll be a court date.
Well,
Oh,
when we go
yeah,
back
me
to
too.
court,
You'll need.
I wanna have that.
We can get you a copy.
I was
for
making
sure.
sure you guys
Like I
get it.
said, I don't know if I can't promise if he was served with it yet, because I saw it, they had it all completed. And basically the process is they work with Detective Bureau, put all the information together, and then once they have it, they'll go out with PD. And they'll issue a citation if they got presented to the individual. And that's what they're going to do. So I can find out if that was done. And if it is, any public record, I can share it with you for sure. All right, when are you back in court, do you know?
I don't know because we were down to 27. Well,
The first time you know.
also because they could not serve him because again, that address does not exist. Now, when we served him with his letter of termination, we sent a letter to that same address. That letter hasn't came back to us yet, so I don't know why court got theirs back and we can get ours back.
Somewhat different.
But again, the address does not exist. Because like I said, I went there. My GPS takes me to the area where it's supposed to be at.
All right,
That
well,
particular
I'll let you know.
one is not there.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
I would share that information too, next time you go up.
Well, I plan to share everything, that's why again, I wanted to make sure that this guy is served, because that's gonna be ammunition for me, because to me, he virtually come out here and just stole
He
our money.
defrauded, he defrauded.
And, you know, that's what really upsets me.
I agree with you, like I told you from, I agree with you. So I'll find out if it was done, if it was, or whenever it is, I'll make sure I get you all of the, all that information.
Okay,
All right?
all right.
All right, good deal.
Well, I
You
did
can stick around.
tell
No.
well, I told the Senate to Derbyshire too, the Derbyshire address.
Well, as I was just telling him,
I told them that they
I
had the
went to that
citation all ready to go, but I don't know if it's actually been
It's
served.
with the
yet.
police, they just gotta find a guy.
I went to that first address that he gave, it don't exist.
On East 89th or whatever?
East 91st, it don't exist.
I saw a different one on their website too, there's an 89th or something.
Well,
That website looks like he's top notch, doesn't it?
his name sounds like he's top notch, you know, he calls himself more integrity, he's got more integrity. But that address in North Randall, I went there, and the vehicles that he came out to the site with, they're in the driveway, so that address is good. So if they're gonna serve him, they need to go there, don't waste their time down on 89th, wherever that place is. That North Randall address is definitely
I'll
good.
make sure, that's what I told him, I didn't actually see a citation, but we'll double check that tomorrow, we have a staff meeting tomorrow.
All right, well, let me know.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I'll give you, as soon as I know the court date, I'll let you know.
All right, thank you.
Yep, take care.
Gentlemen, have a good evening.
Yep, yep.
We don't have to do like chemo or
Is that bad?
I don't know, you go in the back.
Yeah, I just run and wash my hands, I can't. Did you ever go? No.
All good?
Oh, so far?
in a way that's good. But in a way it's not because yeah. It's good. We'll send good vibes. No. Oh my gosh, that's are you feeling okay? Or my sister-in-law, she
It was his girlfriend's grandmother. But nothing good about it. The next day, it was a blower in everybody's yard. Blew it out to the street. Gathered it and rolled it. Yeah, can't change it. So, let you know, I like, you know, you couldn't take care of it.
Are you off work?
So I got,
Wake up. You never know how the election changes, man.
Yeah, I do now.
Yeah, you know, me too. Why?
Which is why some resort to the dogs to now.
Yeah.
Where they don't the hip dogs. I'll take you there.
Like, you know, I hear it. out there, not that close.
No. It's winter, hey.
I'm not disputing that at all. Twice a day.
Good evening, and welcome to first meeting of 2025. And Happy New Year to everybody and everybody out there. If you would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Salvi,
Here.
Fluharty,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Asbury,
Here.
Longino,
Here.
Cochi,
Here.
Spinks.
Here.
Council, you have the minutes of the work session of December 16th, 2024. Any corrections to those? Seeing none, I have a motion for acceptance by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Salvi,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
And you have the minutes of the regular meeting of December 16th, 2024. Any corrections to those? Seeing none, I have a motion for acceptance by Longino, second by Asbury. Call the roll, please.
Salvi,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
Under unfinished business, ordinance number 71-24.
Amending ordinance number 93-23, authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with GPD Group for engineering services within the city of Bedford and declaring an emergency.
It's our wish to put that on second reading. Can I have a motion for such? By Fluharty, second by Spinks. Call the roll, please.
Salvi,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
Reports, Mr. Malice.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple quick items. Just a friendly reminder regarding the snowfall and our snow removal. Anytime that snow exceeds 2 inches, there is an automatic parking ban that goes into effect citywide. This is for obviously safety of the pedestrians, safety of motor vehiclists, as well as safety of the plow drivers. So if you could please refrain from parking in the streets when snow exceeds the 2 inches. Let's hope we don't have much more of that. Also would like to talk about, we will be swearing in our new fire chief and our new assistant fire chief on, excuse me, the next council meeting on January 21st, that's on a Tuesday. And I believe we will also have a swearing in of a new police officer. The city this week will be officially advertising for bids for the Bedford Commons expansion project. That will be advertised for multiple weeks. We will have a non-mandatory meeting to answer questions from interested contractors near the end of January, and those bids will be due at the end of the month. We hope the administration plans on presenting City Council with the recommendation in February. Also want to just touch on real quickly, about 3-4 weeks ago, the post office had to remove the mailbox outside of City Hall. It was damaged. It could not open it. They will be reinstalling that mailbox hopefully soon. So once that gets back, you'll be able to utilize it. However, in the meantime, for those of you that I did speak to some residents over the last week, the city removed our flag retirement box because it was getting filled with mail. That was not a mailbox. We did re-mail those parcels. The ones that were earmarked for Bedford Water were applied to the water department. But for those inquiring of why the flag retirement box was removed, it was getting filled up with mail. So to avoid that confusion, we pulled it. That will be going back once we get the mailbox back as well. So for those that were interested in why that was gone. I do want to add, I do appreciate all of the residents utilizing the flag retirement box. We have received tons. We are properly disposing of those that are turned in. And lastly, just want to touch base. I believe Councilwoman Spinks will also mention it, but the Greencroft project, it officially started. The contractor was removing trees in the area. Actually started last week. That was able to be done without the road being closed. That road closure will begin next week, and the official work will begin on the 13th. And that project is slated to last, I believe, 45 days, I mentioned. And Councilwoman will touch on that some more. With that, Happy New Year, everyone, and end of report. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Montello.
Just no report. Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you. Mrs. Howland.
Thank you, Mayor. No report as well. Happy New Year.
Okay. And we will start with council with Mr. Fluharty.
I'd just like to wish everybody a Happy New Year and go Buckeyes. No report after I'm done.
Mr. Smith.
Good evening, Happy New Year's, and may you have a safe and prosperous one. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Asbury.
Likewise. Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for everybody for coming. First meeting of the year. No actual report. I would just like to commend our service department, plow guys. I know we didn't get a big snowstorm like some of the east side did, but we had a decent amount, and they took care of it, and everything was, they did a great job. So I appreciate that, and hope everybody has a great and prosperous and safe New Year, healthy New Year. And a report.
Thank you. Mr. Longino.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I did time myself for this, so it won't be long. No, really, I did. I just wanted to touch on a little something. I wanted to touch on the fact that I've been in office a year now, and whenever I trained anybody over my years of any kind of training, I always told the person to give themselves a letter grade. So when I sat back, I gave myself a C. I gave myself a C because I figured I was learning, and I was learning on the job, and I've done some of the things that people around me have told me to do and look at things. I know there's a lot of people out there who say, he's doing nothing, he doesn't deserve the job, but those probably are people that didn't vote for me. But those people, as you're looking out at me now, I've invited you to come here. I beg you to come here. I say come here and call me out. Call me out on some things that you say I'm not doing. Because as I told you before, I'm learning on the job. I've been a cop in the military, man. I've never been a politician. So if you stand there on that podium and tell me I'm not doing something, or I need to do something, hopefully it'll help improve the city and the ward. Because if not, then it's probably not gonna be done. Sandy always told me, return your calls. I return my calls. I return my emails. Mike can tell you. Deputy Chief Rick could tell you, because I'm normally on the phone with them right after. If it's something that I couldn't handle myself by going to the person's house or going to somebody else's house. I thought about my mother in a situation like this. And my mother, who was a God-fearing woman, but had a mouth like a sailor. So I'm not going to say some of the stuff she would say when dealing with some of the people who have things to say about me. But I thought about when we had these discussions on things like that, she always said, let's go to the Word. And we end up at our Word. So I went to my Word, like as you all know, my mother passed in July. So I go back to her thoughts, and I went to Matthew 25, verse 23. And this is the international version, so this is not, it said, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things, and I will put you in charge of many. So I thought about my mother, and I yield my time.
Tony, I'd give you a higher grade than C. The fact that you recognize only giving yourself a C tells me you're doing a whole lot more than what you think you're doing. You're doing a great job for your work over there. Appreciate it. Mrs. Spinks.
Good job, Tony, and like you said, you know, I've been in there quite a while now, and very honored to be. And it's not, you know, it's what you put into it. Some of us put in a little bit more and everything. You're always gonna have, if someone's not out to get you, and you're not doing your job. You're always learning. I mean, I'm still learning. But the biggest thing, like I always tell Tony, and sometimes it kind of backfires, because I tell people, well, you know, I'll step out of meetings, I'll step out of class, and I'll answer my phone. And, but sometimes it gets where I'd like to have a day off. I don't get days off. I give my husband a day, I get calls Sundays. I've had to step out of my mother's funeral, phone calls from a resident. So it's just putting the best foot forward to do that. Now again, on my report, still asking residents, again, with the weather being so bad, please don't leave your trash cans out, and please don't put them in the street. Mike, I've got a couple of addresses, because I always try to, before I turn it in, leave little notes. I keep these little cards in my car, and I'll get out and, you know, put little notes on people's doors, asking them, you know, give me a call, stuff like that. But, yeah, when they're out in the street, it makes it hard to turn around, makes it hard for the trash guys, and something's coming up, we'll get neighbors or whatever and help you if it's sickness or something and you can't get that trash can in, you know, let us know, we'll help out with doing that. Mike went over the parked cars. I had a person that parked their van on the sidewalk this morning. That's, with the snow and everything, I did see, Mike, I saw a lot, and thank you, PD, I saw a lot of pink tickets on cars there, you know, and they posted this weekend. They shouldn't have to continue to run people, don't park in the street during the snow ban. And next couple of days, we're supposed to be getting hit again, but as Jeff said, our guys do a great job out there, snowplow guys and everything. Far as Greencroft, they have opened up, the reason why they had to open up things was that they had to remove large trees from that blockage. Again, still read to the residents that will absolutely be closed as soon as that job is finished. They removed a lot of trees. Mike, I think there was probably about 12 trees removed down there on the Greencroft area, and then they had 4 to remove things and stuff. It is open now. The only thing that concerns me, Mike, is there any way that we could put signage up or something down there, or have one of our guys with the cut through, because they're gonna see, once they cut down through there, they're gonna see there's only be one way to go.
Signs.
On things,
On things.
yeah. Residents only, because that's really their only way in and out. And I've had a few residents, coming from Maple,
Okay.
coming from Maple.
We can look at signage there.
Okay, I know in some of the other areas in other cities, they do that when they're blocking off it because, you know, you're gonna have somebody that's gonna see it open and they're gonna think, you know, but the buses out this morning, when I was out doing my ward check early this morning, the buses did a great job with, picking up the kids because there's so much snow and stuff. So kudos to those bus drivers. Again, on FAR is, Mike, again, Kimball is not picking up, like if it's upholstered furniture, they're not picking it up if it's not wrapped. Now, I know they have a very strict thing on mattresses and stuff, but couches, I have one, and it's gonna be out there for,
Send me that, if you send me
I
that
will send you
address,
that and stuff, but
or I can go look.
yeah, and I know they're still having trouble, but yeah, they, I think Clint, we had talked about it before, if it's fabric, you have to wrap it, so if you're gonna be getting new couches or throwing out stuff, please, if it's, wrap it before you put it out on the tree line. And, Happy New Year, everybody, and end of report.
Thank you. Mr. Selby.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. State legislation update, follow-up from my last council report. House Bill 274, property tax relief bill, which would have increased the homestead exemption for certain seniors and disabled Ohioans, died in the Senate. Substitute House Bill 327, which would have required contractors and subcontractors who work on public contracts to use the federal E-Verify program, also died in the Senate January 1st. Reported Wellman burglary. Mike, is there any update to the reported burglary last month at a home at the intersection of Wellman and Dogwood?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Bay Market property. Mike and/or John, have any court dates been set regarding the former and/or current owner of the Bay Market parcel?
No, they're actually gonna be reissuing, well, they reissued the orders once it transferred. We can't keep it on the same status as it was with the previous owners, so once it transferred to the new ownership, we reissued those orders. And then there was some slight work that was being done. There's still a number of items on the orders, and those will be, I believe, issued a second notice. Once we get to the third notice, they'll have to appear in court. I'll provide those updates as we go out and re-inspect and share those with you.
Thank you. 775 Lincoln Boulevard street repair. I am pleased to report that the street repair at 775 Lincoln, I inquired about in a recent report, was completed in December. Thank you to all who got this job completed before the end of the year. 720 McKinley property. Thank you to our city manager, law director, and building department for quickly responding to my request to get the property owner to do some much needed cosmetic improvements to the once haphazardly boarded up front doorway of this home. The neighbors are appreciative that this property is being cleaned up because of litigation and ongoing attention. No resident should have to live next to neglected rundown properties. Vehicle collisions, vicinity of Northfield and Solon roads. There were 2 head-on collisions on Northfield Road recently. I don't believe either was due to poor weather conditions. The most recent left of center crash closed Northfield Road for hours. I'm not sure what the status of the vehicle occupants are, but one vehicle had caught fire. I mention these cases for the following reason. The crashes took place just a week after I mentioned a traffic problem to council at our December 16th work session. Specifically, too many drivers are dangerously driving left of center into oncoming traffic to avoid illegally parked delivery vehicles. These impatient drivers are going to injure or kill another innocent driver and/or their passengers. Less frequently, delivery vehicle drivers completely block streets, bringing traffic to a halt. In each case, these are traffic violations. My solution to avoid vehicles trying to squeeze through traffic by going left of center or blocking traffic is to require delivery trucks to follow the law, the same traffic laws and signage residents are required to follow. Taft Park, I received no complaints regarding Taft Park since the last council meeting. I did speak with several high school teens at the park while checking on the park during daylight hours. They thought reopening the ice skating rink at the park was a great idea due to the lack of outside winter recreation in Bedford. My contact information. Residents may reach me by calling my home phone number 440-232-8964 or emailing me via the City of Bedford website. The new year, may the sorrows of that you experienced last year end or be lessened in 2025, and your family's blessings multiply in 2025. Thank you, end of report.
Thank you. New business, ordinance number 1-25.
Amending ordinance number 81-23, making additional appropriations for current expenditures of the city of Bedford, Ohio during the year 2024 and declaring an emergency.
Have a motion for suspension. Gino, second by Asbury. Call the roll.
Salvi,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spink, second by Fluharty. Jennifer?
Thank you, Mayor. These are just a handful of a few budget updates that came up after the last appropriation ordinance. I would ask that these be approved tonight, but I have to report everything to the county at the end of the week. And these are in regards to some personal items such as pension and health insurance claims.
Okay, thank you. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Salvi,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
Now we come to the hearing of citizens. If you wish to speak, please come forward, state your name, your address, and your comment.
Bedford 134 Hammer. I have a couple things. The first one is kind of tongue-in-cheek, but I think the city ought to look into maybe getting one of those large steel containers and maybe parking it somewhere down on the end of Industry Drive. So all these clowns that want to shoot off fireworks and guns can go in there, shut the door, and do it. Secondly, I walk a lot, and on Christmas Day, it was still clear. And I walked down Columbus Road, and walking down Columbus Road, there was a series of wrappers from Oreos that were like Oreo wrapper, Oreo wrapper, Oreo wrapper. And then at the end, on the far end, was the box of the Oreos that the wrappers came from, obviously. When I got down to Broadway, when I made the turn from Columbus on Broadway, there was rubbish on Broadway. I mean, the whole corner in front of the restaurant there, all the way down to past the parking lot for the dollar store. I mean, rubbish, not a little bit of rubbish. There was rubbish out there. I was embarrassed for the city to see that. I mean, it was terrible. And then the dollar parking lot was also filled with rubbish, like someone had just emptied rubbish bags or whatever there. It was disgusting. And I think that it would be, I don't know, there's nothing I know that you can do to fix that. But I don't know if educating the younger kids from the beginning that, you know, this isn't the right thing to do. Because if people do that and kids don't know that it's wrong to do that, then it's not wrong for them to do that. And there's just so many of these kids that are doing that, and it's just, to me, it's just disgusting. And it makes the city look bad. The other thing is, and I probably should know this, but the parking ban we have a parking ban when snow exceeds 2 inches. Does that mean when it snows 2 inches, or when the total snow on the ground is 2 inches? And when does the parking ban end?
So what we've been doing recently is like we'll put something out on social media and our website where we've issued a parking ban starting at such and such time and ending at such and such time. We've done that when we know a significant snowfall is coming. It's not the accumulation, because let's say it doesn't snow, it's gonna be cold, so we're gonna have 2 inches in your front lawn for 3 weeks. That doesn't mean it's that snowfall. And the intended purposes of that is to allow our crews to get out and obviously clear the roadways. Once those roadways are clear, you can go back to allowing that parking. But what we're trying to do is, if you've noticed recently, we've been putting something out where we'll post a start, we'll post like a stop, and it's typically at least a day after to allow our crews to properly clear the roadways.
Okay, so the
it's
city
not
actually...
just an always standing. If there's 2 inches on the ground, because that could be, like February in Cleveland, that could be a month. You're gonna have 2 inches in your front yard. It's that snowfall.
Okay. Yeah, and I realize that the purpose is for the plows, but I didn't know when it starts and when it ends. I didn't know that the city actually posts an ending time.
We started to do that like during the ones where we know, look, there's a storm coming. We're gonna have 2 inches. When that happens, we've put out there like, hey, there's gonna be a parking ban starting at this time and it'll run through X. We started doing that more frequently. Do we do it all the time? We don't. Sometimes you don't know. But when we know, we'll put a start and an end.
My last item, I got my gas bill today. And I know the city contracts through NOPEC for the gas prices. Well, the gas rate went up 43% for the gas costs on the bill this month through NOPEC. And I was just wondering if the city is working with NOPEC on those rates?
We don't dictate what those rates are.
I know that.
I mean, we communicate with them. They actually just recently sent a communication to us. I have not spoken to them about those. We don't speak on a monthly basis. Like I said, we don't really control that. We trust that they're out trying to secure the best rate. Now, I tell residents all the time, if you're diligent enough and you can check all of those and you can shop and bounce around every month, you might be able to find something a little bit lower than what NOPEC is. But honestly, probably 95% of the people aren't going to do that, and over time, they're going to get hammered. So while they went up overall, I think, we've seen our rates go up. Like commercial rates, I think that's a product of the overall, energy environment. But beyond that, I can't comment any further because I'm not that versed in where NOPEC is.
So do they change? Do they change from month to month?
Not necessarily month to month. Usually it's a 6-month span. And I'd have to go back. I remember I did provide an update, our most recent communication we received to them. I think it was included in one of my weekly memos with council regarding the rates, and I believe it's a 6-month window. I can pull that information and give it to you.
Like I say, when I looked at the bill today and I saw that the rate increase was 43%, and I can't give you the exact cost, but it was a 43% increase.
Just on the NOPEC part? Wow.
Yeah, on
Might worth a phone call just to see why.
Yeah, I can check our communication from them. I'll check. I know there was something a couple months back.
All right, thank you.
Good evening. My name is is Sabrina Future, and I don't want to give my address. You guys know where I am. There's too much going on out here in the world with people just not in their mental state to just put my family out there like that. So I'm not trying to be disrespectful to what you're doing, but the world is getting crazier and crazier. And I want to thank you guys for the Soul Circus. Remember I came and I mentioned about the Soul Circus and everything, and what happened was I went online to get tickets, and the tickets were like almost $90. And that's why I was saying, can we talk with people before they come? So I went up there personally and got tickets for like $30. So for what they told me, people, when you go online, some kind of way, they are able to increase it. So I don't know how the city would handle that when people come, because I'm not a person always on doing things online, but I did not know that. And I'm glad I went up there because I did go. It was a great family experience. We made great memories, and it was nice to have it in our community. So thank you for that. And then the second thing is I want to thank Mr. Salvi for your effort for getting an ice skating ring. I don't ice skate anymore because of my age and my bones, but I still have grandkids and kids who would benefit from that. Not having to go all the way downtown into University Circle would be nice. If there's anything I can do to volunteer, to help on a committee or something, I'm more than willing to do it. But thank you, I appreciate that. Then the next thing, the post office. I don't know whose ward that is, but every time I go to the post office, the way it looks is not too good. The poles and the pillars are deteriorating, and I was like, you know what? If this was a home, we would be talking about them. We would be saying, so whose ward is the post office?
It doesn't really matter because it fall under.
Well, it kind of does because
We had a discussion with them, I believe about a year ago. It mostly stemmed from the upkeep of the exterior, lawn, and things like that. But we can go out and take a look at it.
oh, it's terrible. It's like he was talking about being embarrassing. I'm like, I don't even want to come here looking like this because it looks bad. But I'm grateful that we have a post office. I know we're in a new year, and I just want to know the status of that building. That veterinary building that's continuously deteriorating more and more and more. What is the status of us getting that building taken down? Or are we just gonna let it just fall down as it deteriorates and keeps looking bad and bad? What's the status?
Same thing as I mentioned previously, we're trying to secure funds to take it down, because right now, the city would bear 100% of the cost to take that building down, and it's probably would be north of, if I were to guess, it'd be north of $70,000 to take it down. So what we're trying to do is secure outside funding to do that, because we're really not we didn't budget for an extra $70,000 to take a building down. So if we can secure grant dollars to where we can use matching.
So who's working on that? Who's the person?
We have staff from building to
securing that?
development,
'Cause
all of
it's-
that.
I mean, I think I
Right
was
now,
very
it's
patient.
secure. Right now, it's secure. I mean, not the upstairs, but no one
Have
can
you
get
looked in the back?
access to there. I was back there, our police department was back there, as well as building.
Go again, because
Like, I mean,
when you say
there's
secure,
windows,
it may
but
be
the
secure, but the way it looks. It may be secure
Okay,
to you guys, but it looks terrible.
I 100% agree, but we gotta be cautious with, when you say a building's not secure, that
No.
means you can easily walk in, walk through the front door, go in, do whatever. If a building's not visually appeasing, which I would agree with you, it's not, that doesn't mean it's not secure. So I would say that secure-wise, PD and building was out there, I believe they were out there in November. They went out right after you had indicated it last time, they verified that it was. Now, there's some broken windows in the rear, but those windows are only about that big, nobody can fit through those windows. There is a door on the upstairs, but we can't even get access to that. So nobody's inside the building present. I would agree that it needs to come down. I 100% agree. But right now, if we're gonna do that tomorrow, the administration would need authorization from council to bear 100% of those costs. Whereas what we've done in most every other scenario is we go out and try to secure the grant funding, either through the county or through state programs, and we do it that way to get whatever we can get, and then we can move forward with it.
So how did we get the building off Broadway taken down? I think it was an old chiropractor or something, but I noticed that building was taken
Correct.
down. How did we get that taken down?
We took that down. That was about $20,000.
But why did that building didn't even look that bad.
We owned that building.
But I'm saying, to me, it wouldn't make more sense, leave that building, it didn't look bad. Take that $20,000 to that one building that is horrible, and we wouldn't have needed as much. Cause I'm like, why did they take that down? Just don't make sense to me. It really didn't make sense. And you may say that it's secure, it just depends. We have a lot of people in our neighborhood who are mental, homeless. So we need to think a little outside the box about what you guys consider secure. Maybe because you don't live there, but I live right there. So I'm still concerned. It's not secure to me. Maybe according to your definition, but not at all. The juvenile detention facilities, exactly where is that going?
That's at 17500 Rockside Road.
17, what'd you say?
500 Rockside Road.
So there's a building there already?
Yes.
And they're just gonna take over the building?
Partially, yes. And then, but you have to go over Rockside Road Bridge, and you make a left on Pennsylvania Avenue in Maple Heights, and you take that to the end of Pennsylvania Avenue, and that's where it's at. That's the only way to access the property.
Okay, I know what it is. Okay. I think that's it. My condolences to you, Mr. Longino. I will be praying for you. My mother to be 3 years, and it's like it just happened. So I will be praying for you. That's the hardest thing. And same for you, Sandy. I heard you say about your mom, and I just want to encourage you guys. Thank you for the service you do, but at the same time, we get 7 days a week. God said rest one. So take advantage of the Sabbath, and these phone calls are not that important that you have to leave your mother's funeral. Take care of yourself, because you only get one body to a person. And I wasn't going to say anything, but it just came to me, so I need to be obedient to the Holy Spirit. We're coming up again with Martin Luther King Day, Mayor. And I go to the rec, I play pickleball. I love it. It's a sport that I can handle, and it's fun connecting with my neighbors and people my age. I appreciate that. But we're not doing anything in our city for Martin Luther King, and I don't follow a lot of people, but my mentors is Jesus and then Martin Luther King when it comes to people, treating people. And for us to have a day off, I get that. When I was at the Y, we were saying that not a day off, a day on, because we would do community service work and do things to help people. I don't mind you guys having a day off, but I do want to see our city doing something to bring unity and harmony in our city. We talk about things changing and, but we have to put things in our city to bring people together, to teach people minor things like not throwing your litter out and so forth, but it takes us connecting with people in our city. And to me, that day is a great day to bring people together on a positive note. I mean, I don't know more than I can say. It saddens me that we're not doing anything. I mean, people go to museums. I get that, so take advantage of that. but at least that Friday or Sunday, we should have been doing something with getting our kids, our adults, and us together. Because he died so we can learn how to get along, and we still not getting along. I mean, just look at the news. But no matter what, I love God, I love everybody, and I really love my community and those people in my community. And the next thing just came to me. I was at the rec center today, and I was expressing to them, I don't feel like it's family friendly. I thank God I can go play pickleball, but I have young men who they call me auntie. They play ball in my yard, and it's winter now. Kids are go to school for activities, but all kids aren't involved in school activities. And when you don't have kids engaged in things, that's when the door, what they say is, it's not biblical, but it's true, the devil worships an idle mind. So I have 4 grandkids, but I can't even go to the community center to do anything unless it's a program. I'm not feeling that. It don't feel right to me. I should be able to go to our community center and play pool, and that one room they told me to have. I said, well, it's a program thing. I'm like, what? We have plenty of space on the 2nd floor where we can create family-friendly activities that won't cost a lot. Everything don't have to be about a grant. So I don't know who I need to be speaking to about us getting that community center more available to kids and their parents, because that's what stops juvenile being unruly, is when you have activities, and especially when you engage them with their parents. We have a whole space that is dormant that we're not taking advantage of. I hate that that YMCA is gone, because that's what they did there. I mean, and it was phenomenal. And it's gone, but things happening with our teenagers has increased. It's gotten worse, and we all complain about it, but we gotta come up with some solutions. And again, I'm giving my name and my number to get to the table. Let's create some things. Everything don't cost money. So that's all I have to say, because I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be in Bedford. God told me to stay here, and I'm going to be here. So let's get it together for our family activities. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. A motion for adjournment. Spink, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Salvi,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Hansberry,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.